Testing, 1, 2, 3. Right, I need to get the volume right because sometimes my volume is a little bit too soft, I think, when I'm streaming. Because you can't really change the volume. When you're streaming, you can't edit it later on after the fact. So you're going to hear a bit of p and s every now and then. But yeah, we'll just have to deal with that. All right, welcome everyone. I haven't done a stream for a while. That's because I've been busy doing podcast stuff. So I'm going to be launching 3 podcasts very soon. One of them for Quasar News, which will be about a 5 to 10 minute podcast. One of them, which I've already launched, so I should actually show you this, quasarcast.com. By the way, it's kind of ironically, this runs very slow for me because I'm in Australia, and the server itself is in Europe, but that's totally fine. Later on down the line, when I've got the funds to justify it, I'm going to put this on Laravel Vapor so that it runs super fast everywhere in the world. But yeah, if you go to podcast section now, then we've got Quasar Life. That's the podcast that I've just released, and it's where I just talk about Quasar life-related stuff. And then there's going to be the Quasar News podcast, like I just mentioned, and the other one is going to be Quasar interviews. So this will be like the core podcast where we talk about more technical stuff with Quasar. That one's coming later on, and it's going to be super, super exciting. All right, so I'm still waiting for this to be released on Apple because they always take a little while. But it's available on Spotify, YouTube, and we've also got a web version. So if you even just click on this, it'll take you to the web version where it shows you the episodes. But it's only showing 1 episode for now, which isn't good because there's actually 2 of them. So I'll have to look into that, figure out why it's only showing 1 at a time. Or maybe it's meant to show like that and it's got a list or something. Anyway, that's a problem for another day. All right, what are we working on today? So we're going to implement tags in the system. The reason I want tags is so that you can very easily come to courses and filter courses by tags, because at the moment it's starting to get a little bit too crowded. We're also going to add images at the top of these because I think they look absolutely disgusting. This was my first iteration of it and I haven't changed it since. It doesn't look great. When you go into it, I think it looks good. So if I go to like Quasar Components, for example, I think this page here actually looks really nice. I'm quite happy with that. When you select one, if this is opened up and then you select one, it automatically hides it and takes you to the right page. And there will be markdown like comments down here telling you about the stuff we run through. So I'm pretty happy with that, but I don't like the core courses page. So we're going to have a way to distinguish all the courses via tags, and we're going to add images to every single course. And I'm going to have a way of doing that really quickly using Canva. So that should be good. Right, what else have I got on the agenda for today? Like I said, cover images, and also courses are going to have a primary tag, and that'll just mean that I can color these appropriately via those tags. All right, so let's go ahead and actually start building this. We'll say quasarcast.test for my test server, and I'm going to have to get that up and running. So we'll run quasar dev here, and here I'm going to jump into API. Let's come back, and that's going to have to be HTTPS, and then just give that server a second to run. And then when that's running, this should work properly. By the way, something I found out today is when you say Quasar and you're not in a Quasar project, it will run the global version of Quasar. But if I'm inside of a Quasar project, it'll automatically figure that out and run a local version of the Quasar CLI. So that's how it's able to be really smart about which CLI tool to use and how to build things properly, and which is why it works with version 1 and version 2, and I think even older versions of Quasar, which is really cool. All right, that server's up and running, so let's see if this works, and it does, and we're ready to start developing. This is dummy data, which is why it looks a little bit stupid for now. All right, so what are we working on? This is why I have a list of things. Implement tags. First thing we're going to do is basically build out all of those files. And I think the best way to do that is say PHP artisan make model. And I'll add the OR flag to make sure we get all of the model related stuff. And what's this model going to be called? Just tags, I think. Tag? Or do we want it to be specific? See, you've always got this situation with tags where it can be a polymorphic relationship, so it can apply to everything, or you can make tags specific to a course, for example. I think in this situation, I might make it polymorphic, so we'll just call it tag. That might come back to bite me down the line. A course has many tags, and it's a many-to-many polymorphic relationship, isn't it? Yeah, because a course can have more than one tag. but a tag can have many courses. But then there's going to be another relationship because I want a course to also have one specific tag. The problem that you end up, though, with polymorphic relationships with tags is that if you want to have tags that are just specific to courses, you can't really do that unless you add like another field, and it starts to get more complicated. But you know what? I'm going to stick with the polymorphic concept and we'll see how it pans out for us. All right, so that's done. Tags. Let's go to the create tags table, and we can go ahead and get started with all of this. So a tag is going to have a string, which will be the name of the tag. Is name a good value for that? Yep, I think name is good. Does a tag need a description? Maybe not. I feel like that's overkill. Oh, I don't know. You can imagine you've got tags at the top. Like maybe when you go into courses, especially when the site gets larger, we could just show tags here, and then each of those tags could have like a description about what, I don't know. Yeah, let's add it in. Description. And we'll set that to text. What else are we going to need? This is going to be a polymorphic many-to-many relationship. Now, I've always wanted to check, does Laravel have automatic polymorphic setup for tables? Let's have a look at the API, actually. Table. And let's see if there's anything like a morph. Oh, wow. Maybe we do. Drop morphs, add the proper column to the polymorphic table. But that will work for a many-to-many polymorphic relationship. I'm not sure that it will. Nullable morphs. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to ignore the polymorphism here because since it's many-to-many, we'll just do it in a pivot table. So it's just a name and a description. They're both going to be required, so they will not be nullable. And I think that's all that I need to do for this. What else do you have with a tag? What else do you have for a tag? Oh, of course, we're going to want a color there as well. We'll make that a string, and we'll set that to color. And that could be a hex, or that could be a quasar color like blue, for example. So I'm just going to leave that as color for now. And then maybe down the line, we could then find a way to figure out whether it's a hex or not, which is cool because it means that I can just use quasar colors. And then we can basically dive into it and go, if it's a quasar color, use the quasar color. If it's a hex, then we'll go on and use a hex instead. So I think that'll do for now. Oh, the other thing we want to do is make sure that the name and the color are unique. Do I want the color to be unique, or is that overkill? Would you ever have the same? No, I don't think so. Let's leave it like that. So let's go ahead and migrate the database. So that's that done. The next thing we'll probably do is look at the factory. So let's say tag factory so we can very easily create a tag. All right, what have we got? We had name, description, and color. Name, description, color. I'm going to come in here and just paste them in like that. Turn them into strings. If anyone wants to say hi, by the way, let me know where you're from or all that jazz, then go ahead and do it. Now, it's not faker, sorry. It's now this faker. So we can pull out an instance of faker. And then first of all, we want to have the name of the tag. So how about we just say like a string, or what do you call that? Like a text? No, a word. All right, so a single word description. Let's say a sentence, or maybe a paragraph. Yeah, so let's use a paragraph for that. And for the color, I think we can just say a hex color, color name. Can you say color name? What does that give me? We'll find out in a second. All right, so I think that'll do. Next, I'll say art tinker, just test and make sure that this is all working okay. So let's say tag factory, just to create a new tag and see what happens. Oh, something went wrong. All right, so you can't access Word as a property anymore. All right, they don't like us using properties anymore, so I need to turn those into methods. It still works, but it's going to be deprecated, so I should do that now. All right, what have we got? Name, yep, color, old lace? What? That's a color name? Old lace? I don't know. All right, so let's change that to a hex color. What's safe color name? Nah, you know what? Let's just make it a hex for now. Keep it simple. Art, tinker, and let's go ahead and run that again. Yep, we're getting a hex color. That looks good to me. And now we can go ahead and move on. So what's the other thing we need? We need the controller as well. So I'm going to go to api.php and copy what I've been doing with our Orion resources here. Change this to tags. Change this to tags controller. Go to the lessons controller and duplicate it and change it to the tags controller. All right. Anything that says lessons is now going to have to say tags. And anything that says lesson will now have to be tags so that we're pointing to the tag class. None of this is important to me. Filterable, yeah, none of that matters to me. We'll probably end up adding filterable stuff, but we'll do that later on. Next, we want to have our tag policy. So I might do that this way. I might say art make policy, and let's say tag policy. So this is all Laravel stuff. Model is equal to, I believe it's just tag. So let's go tag policy. Yep, looks like that's been scaffolded correctly. Everything is just going to be false by default. Oh no, view any, anyone can do that. So let's return true here. Anyone can view any tag, anyone can view a single tag. However, all of the other stuff, we're going to say no way unless you are an admin. So if I go to lesson policy, I'm going to steal some code from here. And before each of these, I'm moving fast because this is just me developing in the real world right now. So you're not going to get like the whole teaching experience here. This is more of a real life sort of development experience. You can watch my videos if you'd rather, you know, something that's broken down further. So here we go. We're checking if it's an admin. If it's view any or view, then true. Anybody can view a tag. For all of this other stuff, it's false. And I can leave that as blank and it'll basically not allow it by default. But I'm going to return false just to be a little bit more explicit here. Yeah, so basically admin can do anything, other people can only view or view any. So that's the tag policy done. If we go to api.php, let's just check this all lines up. If you go to tags, yes, then we got the tags controller. And that points us to the tag model. Cool. All right, I'm happy with all of that. What's next? Let's go to tag.php. I don't think there's anything that I need to change here. No, we might have to do fillable stuff. Do I need to do that? Lesson.php. No, I just said guarded. That's right, equal to an empty array. The other way you can do it is by saying what is fillable, but we're just going to say none of this is guarded by default, so all of it is fillable by the admin. Cool. So what's next on the list of things? We've done our model, we've done our factory, we've done our migration. We want to have a seeder. However, I don't really want to have a tag seeder specifically anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. We just have a database seeder, and then I'm going to create it. I'll do it somewhere in here. We won't do it yet. We'll wait till we set up the relationships before we do the seeder. Also, tag controller was automatically created, but we're using the Orion controller now, so I can go ahead and delete this as well. All right, so let's open up Postman. Is that opening up? Yep, there we go. Give that a second to load just so I can test some of these API routes. And behind the scenes, I'm going to do stuff on Postman because there might be some secret stuff that you're not allowed to look at. Just have to sip of my coffee. Oh, yes. Love me some coffee. All right, so sorry about this. I know it's not much fun when I'm doing stuff behind the scenes, but I kind of need to in this situation. I'm going to have to change my account, I think. Yeah, let's change to that account. Oh, God, that might end up showing in the top screen anyway. Nope. Sorry about this, guys. Won't be a second. Man, Postman's it's kind of slow, to be honest. It's telling me it's unable to load data because I'm offline. I'm definitely not offline. All right, here we go. Quasarcast.com. And I'm happy to show you this now. Honestly, there probably wasn't anything secret behind the scenes, but, you know, you got to be careful with this kind of stuff. Yeah, look, I'm not worried about. One thing I hate about Postman is that how it uses this tab thing that you can't get rid of. You have to do everything the tabs way. It's not that big a deal, though. All right, courses, lessons. I might just add a new folder. Oh, we don't want that in lessons. We want it up here. Did that work? No, it added it into the course. Ugh. Man, this is being a nuisance. Add. Yep, there we go. New collection. All right, so what are we going to call this collection? we're going to use the exact same thing I've got here with the bearer token. Bearer token, there we go, save that. And let's add a request. Can I name this here? Yep. And this is going to be for tags. All right, so let's see if we can index the tags. Ugh, I hate having to do all of this stuff. I wish there was a faster way. There probably is. Tags. Let's just straight out test if that works. Okay, I'm not getting anything. Am I getting anything for lessons? It might have to do with our API key. Yeah, I am getting stuff for lessons. So let's figure out why that's not working. Tags controller does not exist, apparently. Okay, so if I go to api.php, I bet you I need to import it. Yes, I do. So let's come up here and say tags controller. Save that. Come back here and try that again. This action is unauthorized. Okay, good. That's what we want. I want to make sure I'm authenticated as an admin so that I can make this request. So it looks like the bearer token is not working. Did I ever create a command in the past so that we can get a bearer token? Oh, no, I didn't. So I'm going to have to do this manually. So let's say art tinker user first. That should give me. Yep. Basically, I just want to have a bearer token here. So let's say create token. I think I can just do that. Okay, I need to give it a name as well. So let's call this, it's not passport, sanctum. And there we go. That's given me the token. So I should be able to just paste that in and then it'll work and I can start testing this. Tags. Yep, there we go. That's working now. Tremendous. All right, so we can go ahead and fetch tags. That works fine. However, even without the bearer token, that should have worked. Because I said before that if you're not an admin, you should still be able to view tags. So let's have a look at why that wasn't working. I think it's because I think I did something dodgy in the past in order to get all this working. Yeah, that's right. So if we go to lessons controller here, basically if there is no user, I'm basically resolving a guest user. And this is kind of a janky solution that I whipped up quickly to build something fast. So what we're doing here is we're saying the user is equal to the requested user. If there is no user, however, then fetch the guest user. So basically, I'm making sure there's always a user in the request. You're going to get a guest user who has basically no permissions if the normal user isn't available. And later on, I'll do some caching here to make sure that the guest user is always available. But honestly, it doesn't matter for now. We're just starting out. So let's come back here, and I want to be able to do this now without being authenticated. So let's get rid of that, and let's say no auth, and we'll add the authentication back in for testing. And there we go, that still works. So that's exactly what I wanted. Right, what's next? Now that we have the concept of tags, we need to set up the relationships as well. So let's go to tag.php. And a tag has many courses, and a course has many tags. So let's start with that. Public function courses. And now then I'll return $ this. And I believe it's actually morphs many or many, I don't know, morphed by many, morph many. That's what I want. Morph many, what are we morphing? Courses. Man, I haven't done a relationship like this in a long time, so this will be a fun experience. Why wasn't that imported? Course, imported. What's going on? Oh, it's because we're in the same namespace, so I think that means I don't have to import it. Yeah, and it should be able to guess everything because once I set up the polymorphic relationship, then that should be able to guess everything that it needs to guess. It's still not working. Let's say app models. That's how I want to do it anyway. I'm pretty sure that's how JMac recommends that we do it. Why am I getting a squiggly line? What's going on here? Expected to, okay, so it does need at least 2 arguments. What's the next one? I might have to check the docs here. Morph relationships, many-to-many relationships, polymorphic many-to-many relationships. Yeah, this stuff always confuses me a little bit. And then you need to have what it's called, and so we'll call this taggable. And luckily, I'm pretty sure this is the exact same concept. So that should be easy to do. So we can do courses. What about lessons? Should a lesson have a tag? No, I don't really care about that right now. Hey, Bruno, where are you from? And we can say a tag has many courses. And we're going to return this relationship like so. All right, so we've got that relationship. Let's do the inverse of the relationship, make a little bit of room here. And let's say course.php. And basically we want to say public function tags. And then we can basically this is going to be the exact same thing. Great thing about many-to-many relationships is they're pretty easy to invert. And a course has got many tags, so we need to change that to tag. I'm going to control click to check it's connected right, and it is. And then I'm basically just going to copy paste that as well. And now we can say a course has many tags. Brazil, awesome. I noticed I actually did a bit of Facebook stuff the other day, and I noticed that Brazil has a Facebook group. It seems like there's a pretty strong Quasar community in Brazil, which is really cool. Actually, it seems like there's a lot of techno stuff happening in Brazil. I don't know why that is. I'd be interested to know why. Just gonna drink my coffee. Good stuff. And I've been thinking down the line of finding some of the key communities and maybe at some point hiring somebody to do translations for my videos. Not for my live streams, that'd be too much, but it'd be cool if we could have a getting started guide. And, you know, once I have enough funds, I could be like, hey, could somebody in the Quasar community translate this for like, you know, and I give them like $100 or $200 or something. Because you'd need somebody who's technology minded, and they could translate it from English to any other language that's popular to the Quasar community. I feel like that would be super helpful. Spanish as well. I think there's a lot of actually, what language do I'm embarrassed to ask this, but what language do people speak in Brazil? I can't believe I don't know that. It seems like something that should be obvious. Portuguese is the first language. Brazil. Interesting. All right. Sorry, I got distracted. Coming back. So now we've got that relationship set up. We need to have the pivot table as well. So I'm going to exit here and have a look at what the pivot table needs to look like. I'm pretty confident in this anyway, but I just want to be sure. So you need the ID of the tag. You need the ID of the thing that is taggable, and the ID of the thing, and the type of the thing that is taggable. All right, so that's pretty straightforward stuff. Well, I guess it's not straightforward. It's one of the most advanced relationships, at least that you can define in Laravel. So now let's say art, make, model. And one thing you can do is you can create a pivot table model. I don't like doing that. I like just making it a raw model because sometimes I get stuck when I do a pivot table model. Like there's some stuff that I want to be able to do that I can't do, which is why I never do that. I just create a normal model. And we'll call this the taggable model. I think that's fine. And I won't add all for now. We might just, or maybe I'll add all of them and go through them one at a time and just delete the ones that we don't need. Perhaps that'll make sense. Yep, let's do that. Okay, so we need the model. We don't want the factory. So taggable factory. Don't need that. Migration, we need. Cedar, we certainly don't need. So taggable Cedar, delete that. The controller, maybe down the line, but taggable controller for now we can delete as well. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the migration. Taggables, there it is there. And now we can go ahead and set this up. So let's say table tag ID. So that will be an unsigned big integer. Or maybe there's another way we can do this. We can say like foreign ID4 app tag, models tag. So it's going to be an ID for tag, and I don't think I need to add the column in there. And I think I can then say constrained. Okay, cool. So that sets up the relationship and the constraints for me. What else do we need to do? Well, we're going to want the taggable ID and the taggable type. And I don't know how to key this correctly, to be honest. Foreign ID for... Yeah, how do in fact, if anybody knows how to do that, I've never thought about this. How, when you're using a polymorphic relationship, is there a way that I can index it properly if you don't know what the ID is going to be for? Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I actually don't know. Yeah, man, that's actually kind of frustrating. So I'm going to go to Laravel Migrations and do a little bit of research here. All right, so Polygon. Ooh, interesting. Polymorphic. The Morse method is a convenient method to add. All right, so that's actually going to add column ID. Oh, so I actually could do something like this. There's no reason I couldn't say table morphs taggable, and then it's going to give me taggable ID and taggable type. So that's really nice. And that's going to do things right for me. And so that'll let me know, if you can actually do like indexing for this kind of thing. I honestly just don't know how it works with polymorphic relationships. All right. So anyway, that'll give me taggable ID, taggable type. Is there anything else that I can add in there? Index. So it looks like it is indexing. We'll look into it afterwards to see what it's actually doing behind the scenes. This is cool. I'm learning some cool stuff about polymorphic relationships. So now, but we do want to make sure we have the tag ID as well. So I do actually want to, it looks like everything I've got there is correct. So let's just see if this migrates and then maybe have a look at whether or not it works now. Sweet. So now I can probably do something like art tinker. So I'm going to be moving a bit slow here because I'm still figuring this stuff out. How to do things in the new Laravel way. Tag factory. No. Let's do this. Let's go into factories because I know that they've got some cool functions for this stuff. I want to do like relationship factories. Many-to-many relationships. So then I can say has attached. Is there an even faster way to do this? Has attached, and then the thing that I want to be attached to it. But then there's a magic method. Has roles. Cool. Man, I can even say, all right, so let's see if this works. Let's see if I can say course factory has tags, and then I can say how many there are. And like I might even be able to just literally do that. And then I'll have to go ahead and create it. No, unknown column taggable type. Did I migrate the database? I did. However, I'm probably going to have to go to taggable.php and set unguarded. Man, this is fun. We're going to learn some cool stuff here. Let's try it now. Art tinker. Oh, that's right. Wait, what's going on here? Deprecated. That's okay, so that's in course. So let's go to course factory. That's the problem that I had before where they want me to use parentheses here now. So let's add parentheses to all of those. Try again. All right, unknown column, taggable type. However, I'm pretty sure that I did that correctly. I said here, taggable, my understanding is that would create a taggable type. So let's go into, I believe it's called table plus. Not Quasarcast. We want to go to, yeah, no, it is Quasarcast, but that's the SSH for Quasarcast. Oh man, I haven't even set this up yet. We haven't even logged into the database before. All right, let's have a look at how we would do that. So let's say Quasarcast, and then just put in parentheses here, local, so I don't screw anything up. And then I might be able to literally just put in Quasarcast as the database name. So let's save that and then just test it. All right, so I'm just going to jump into my .env file, but I don't want you to see this, so I'm doing this behind the scenes to get my login details. All right, so the database is Quasarcast like that. The username is Luke, and the password, I just made it secret. All right, so that's connected fine. And there we go. Now, oh, this is giving me all my other stuff as well. I don't want no, I don't want that to be my default table. I thought I already told it. I want the default table. That's the database name to be Quasarcast. Why is that not happening for me? Let's make that a blue color as well. Save it, connect. It's not doing it. That's super annoying. That's all right. Let's just come in here and change it manually for now. All right, Quasarcast. So now we want to go to taggables and see what's going on here. Taggable type, and we've got taggable ID. So there's obviously something else weird going on here. Let's open this up again. It must have something to do with my relationship. So let's go to course.php and come down here to tags. Okay, return this morph many. Oh no, this is that's a one to many. So, that's why it's not working. So that's a one to many. What's the many to many one? So it has to be morph to many. There we go. And we'll make sure we do that on tag as well. So tag.php morph to many. Exit that, run it again. And now it works. How cool is that? All right, so now if we go to that last course, I'll just say all and then just grab the last one. And then I say tags, it works. And now let's say tag first. And let's grab all the courses for that. Wait, I said tag. Why did it work? I said tag singular, didn't I? Oh no, I said tags. That worked. Tag, okay, and then the tag should have courses like that. Tag courses. So why didn't that work then? I don't call them taggables at course. Okay, so it looks like morph to many inverse actually looks different. So let's say morph. We've got define a polymorphic inverse one to. So we want an inverse many to many polymorphic relationship. Inverse many to many. So morphed by. All right. This is interesting. So now we can say tag first and get its courses. However, let's say tag all and just grab the last one. This is like a super fast way I can just do this. Okay, cool. So now a course can have many tags and a tag can have many courses. Next thing I want to do is actually make it so that there is a primary tag on the course table. So I want to say, be able to say, for example, what is a course's primary tag, because it might change its color based on that. Do I actually want to do that? No, I think I'm changing my mind. A course already has a color anyway. No, we'll leave that for later. If something is like on borderline complexity, then I like to just leave it for later. All right, so we've implemented tags. let's implement it on the front end as well now. So in order to do that, let's go to app.php. We'll go to source. Let's jump into our models, and I'm just going to duplicate course and call this tag. And then here we can say tags, and we can say tag there. We don't have to import lesson. In fact, we will import course here. Is that correct? Yep, it's because I'm not using it yet. And what has a tag got? It's got an ID. And if we go to tag.php, we want to go to tags table. We want a name, description, and a color for a tag. So let's come back here, name, description, color, which will be equal to this dot attribute, which will be null by default for all of those. All right, so we've set up the fields. Now we want to set up the relationship. And I'm pretty sure this works the exact same as Laravel, which is awesome. But I will use their docs just to double check. So we'll go to Vuex_ORM, and I'll say poly. Okay, that's not going to work. Polymorphic. Let's say relationships, and we want a many-to-many polymorphic relationship. So we got tag ID, taggable ID. Oh, sorry. Let's start with the tag. So why doesn't it have the inverse? I'd have thought. Okay, no, the inverse is down here. So this is the tag, and that is how we would fetch the things for that tag. So let's come back here. I'm just going to paste that in there. And we'll call this courses, morph by many, and we're going to send through the course there. We're going to send through taggable. So let's duplicate this. Whoops. Duplicate this and call this taggable.js. Come back, open that up in here. Taggable. We don't need any of that. What's taggable got? It's got a tag ID. It's got a taggable type, and then a taggable ID. What else? We don't need any of that. We can change that to taggable. Change this to taggables. What else? Oh, man, I thought of something and now I can't remember what I thought of. So let's import that here. This also needs to have a different primary key. So how do we do that again? I just need a quick reminder of how the pivot table looks. Because rather than having an ID, I want to set it to an array for the primary key. And that's probably sitting in defining models. Here we go, primary key. Index key. This sounds new. Oh no, it's the same thing. I think there's just changed changed some of the wording there. What is this about index keys? No. I wish they had indexing. This might come down the line. But sometimes I wanted to have indexing. So with sometimes when something has many things, it takes a long while to iterate over them because it's not indexed. And sometimes I want to be able to index some of the stuff based on that data. But anyway, moving on. That's what I was looking for. So let's come back here. The primary key here is going to be equal to taggable. Actually, all of this stuff. Taggable type and taggable ID. And actually, while I think of it, we should probably set up some unique relationships so that you can't have the same tag ID type and taggable ID. So really, if I go to taggable.php, let's say we'll have to exit here, migrate, rollback. I like to try and keep my database as solid as possible, tagables, then really we should be saying here table unique, having a unique constraint here that basically says you can't have the same tag ID type and taggable ID. That should not be allowed. So let's go ahead and migrate this again just to check that that works. And it does. Cool. It also means that on the front end, this primary key is going to work properly. So that's always going to be unique. All right. What else do I need to do? So a tag has many courses using course and taggable. Tag ID. Yeah, a lot of this stuff in this example is exactly as we need it. So that's awesome. Now we want to do the inverse of that relationship. So I'm going to say course.js. And we will come down here. And a course has many tags. And it's basically going to be the same concept here. So let's just copy paste that and say tags. And we'll do the opposite for everything. But should that be morphed by many, or is it a different relationship type? We can check that. Relationships. So where's the polymorphic part? Many to many polymorphic. Yeah, that's what I thought. Morph to many. So this is actually done a little bit differently. So let's come back here. And I will keep the space there. I think that works really well. Yeah, so morph by many, and then we got morph to many, the exact same as Laravel. So tag, taggable, tag ID, tag. Yeah, all of that is actually already set up correctly for us. So now all we have to do is import tag and taggable. So let's say tag, import that, taggable, and import that as well. All right. Whew, sorry, having to talk through everything really slows me down. So that's why I don't stream everything. But I think it's a great opportunity for you guys to watch what I do. Next thing we want to do is actually make sure that these are all being imported and used. So let's go to the store, Vuxor, no, not that one. Index. Let me just close those down. Go back to index. So we introduce tag and taggable. So let's come up here and say tag, taggable, same here, tag, taggable. And that should be it. I should be able to use tag and taggable now, and they should even work with the back end, or at least tag should work with the back end straight off the bat. And I think in my relationship plugin, I even included related resources as well. Anyway, we'll talk about that later on. So let's see if we can just pull the tags through into the front end and display them. I think that would be a really good starting point. So let's give that a try to begin with. We'll go to courses page. Yep. So this is where we fetch all of the courses. We'll have the tags here. And I might straight away just create my own component for tags. So let's go into app. And we'll say Quasar new component. And how about we say tag select chips. I think that might be a good name for it. Let's go to quasar.dev and find a good candidate for this. I think chips will be a good one. Chips. Q chip. Yeah, this is what I'm imagining. Basically something exactly like this. That's exactly what I want. Do we want them to be removable? No. We'll just keep it like this to begin with. So, you know what? Honestly, I'm just going to copy paste this for now. And now I can come here and say tag select chips. I'll model that data later on. Let's go ahead and create the component. Jump into that component, paste that in there, come back here, look for our import section. Yep, here it is here. Import tag select chips from components slash, and then I'll just paste that directly in there. And now let's go ahead and actually use this component. And we can do that by coming through here and going components, and then just whack it straight in there. Do we already have a component section? No, that's perfect. All right, so let's come back here and see if that's working. Refresh the page. What's going on? All right, cool. Yeah, so that's going to be related to the data because we didn't set that up. Dessert. So let's change it from dessert to tags dot, and then the thing that the tag is. And then we're going to pull in all of the tags, and this is going to be a loop. So what I might do here is I'm going to be naive to begin with and straight away just fetch everything on mount. So we'll say mounted. And how about we import our tags? Import tag from, what is it? Model slash tag, I think is what I called it. And we'll say tag.$get. Let's just see if that works to begin with. Refresh the page. Oh, I haven't even got that data. So we want to be modeling tags, nothing to begin with. So let's just comment that out for now. And I want to see if that request is working. That's the first thing I'm checking for. Okay, it looks like it might have. This failed request is intentional, by the way. We basically just check if there's a user logged in, and if there isn't, then we display things correctly in the top right there. So that's an intentional error. And if I come here to tags, it looks like that has indeed been fetched. And if we come here to view and then view X, let's see if it's sitting inside the store. We can do that by loading the state, going to entities, going to tags, going to data, and yes, they're being inserted into the store as well. That's awesome. And you can see that there are, oh, we're not getting the related data. That's okay. That makes sense because we don't have any related data yet. Ultimately, what I probably want to do is I want to be able to say, hey, give me all of the courses and give me the courses with their tags. Or the other way around, give me the tags with their courses when we first load this. In fact, let's do that now. Let's go to courses controller. Includes, and we're allowed to include lessons and we're allowed to include tags in that request. And now let's go to courses page where we're actually fetching these. Where do we fetch it? Here. Include lessons, but also include the tags, in the tags as well for those courses. So I'm going to refresh the page now and come back to that tag select component, and I'm actually going to get rid of that. I don't think I need it anymore. So let's refresh this. Looks like that request still went through. Let's see if we're still getting tags into the store. Entities, tags. All right, we're not getting any tag data. That's because I don't think we have any relationships with tags in relation to the courses yet. That could have something to do with it. And in order to check that, I'm going to say art tinker. Whoops, jump into API. Art tinker. Let's say tag with courses. And let's just grab all of those. Oops, that should be a get. Yeah. So none of these are related to a course yet. All right, what's the fastest way that I can set this up? How about we say tag courses, and then we will attach course first. I just want to get one of these working. Okay, that's not working. I don't really see what I'm doing wrong now there. Why can't I call that statically? That's weird. Okay, so that is returning. Should not be called statically. Oh, of course that makes sense. Oh, Luke, you're such a ninny. Tag first, grab its courses, and then perform the attach. Maybe I'm doing something wrong here. I think I need to grab the course's ID. That might be the problem. But apparently that relationship already exists. So what happens if I say taggable or? Okay, so it looks like that did actually set up correctly the first time I ran the command. So let's run this again. Load state, jump into entities, tags. Nice, we've got a tag. Let's see if the relationship worked. Yes, we've got our taggables. And now, yeah, that's it. Everything's actually like set up. So now I should be able to do this. Should be able to go to tag select chips. Let's come here and say computed. Whoops. And we will simply return all of our tags. So now we can say tags is equal to return tag.all. And honestly, I could probably just bypass that by saying something like this. Since that syntax is so beautiful, I could just do this. And then I could say v-4 equals tag in tag.all. Yeah, and then you don't even need the computed property. That's the pro of having everything so beautiful. With your API, you can do this stuff and reduce a lot of code. And then we'll have the tag ID there as the key. And then this is going to have the tag name. So for the color, I'll probably have to do something. Let's see if I can just thread that straight through. So I don't know if it can actually accept a hex there. Text color, I think white should be fine for the color. I'm not going to have an icon in this. And let's just see how that works out. I imagine that something's going to go wrong to begin with. Tags is not defined. Okay, so instead of tags, that should be... Oh no, that's correct. So what'll happen is we will be accepting props here. And the first one will be the tags. Man, I wish I could use the composition API, but I haven't upgraded this app yet. I should do that. Required true. Type is going to be an object. And then selected.sync tags, and it should be tags, and then the name of this tag. So tag.name. And then I'll probably have to figure out a way to select them all by default as well. So now I need to make sure they're actually being threaded through. And to do that, I should be able to say, so we've got course here. How about we come in here and say tag as well? No, actually, basically, we just want to model the selected tags. So let's come here and say selected tags is equal to an empty array. No, it's going to be an object, has to be an object. And now if I go to my tag select chips, here they are here, I can say v-model is equal to selected tags. So the selected tags are passed down as the prop, and then we'll figure out the rest of the syncing process in a bit. So let's refresh that and see what we get. All right, missing required prop tags. I thought I did that. I bet you I named it wrong. Okay, so we actually don't want to name that tags. We want to name it value so that we can use vmodel directly on this. And then we want it to be value and then the tag name. Okay, cool. We've got a star. We've got something on the page. What else? So now this needs to be selectable, and I'm pretty sure we can do that by adding, it's like selectable or something. How does that work? Oh yeah, this is the other hard thing with this. So by default, I basically need to pass through, and I don't know an easy way to do this, but basically by default, I need to figure out which of the tags are available and build up an object of all of those tags and set them to false. It's actually kind of annoying, and I don't know a good way to solve this problem. So let me show you how I currently do it. I say when this is mounted, should I do it here? I actually can't remember how I solved this problem. I'm going to find out and then find out the best way to do it and then do like a video series on it. basically we want an object with all of the tag names, or better still, the tag IDs. So let's come back here and change that to tag ID. We want an object with all of the tag IDs selected. All right, so what I might do is go over, I need to do this in pseudocode. My brain can't really handle it. For each tag, if the tag is in the list, set it to true. The list of tags, set it to true. If not, set it to false. So basically we want to have a list of tags here. Tags is equal to an object. And then we want to say this, we want to say tag dot all dot for each. And then we want to say tags and then the tag ID. So basically we're pulling out of here the current tag. We're setting the tag's current ID equal to our current tag dot. Oh no, then we want to say whether or not it's true, and it's true based on the props. So then we can basically say this dot value and then the tag dot ID. So if that property exists, if we've got the current tag in question, then set it equal to true, otherwise it will be set equal to false. I'm pretty sure that's actually all I need to do. That looks a lot cleaner than I thought it would. And then I can return tags here. Oh man, this stuff like confuses me. No, I don't want to return tags there. What do I do then? Instead of mounted, this should probably be created. But then I probably want to do something like this dot $ emit input with those tags. But now we might have an order of things issue here. Yeah, because I think, man, this stuff confuses me. Maybe that all needs to happen on the top component. I am definitely going to record how I do this once it's done. This is like so, it should be easier, and I reckon I'm convoluting the problem here. But the problem is, this is easy when you're using an array, but to be performant, you need to be using an object of IDs to check whether or not a tag is on or off. And this doesn't honestly matter so much with tags, but it matters with other things. Let me just drink my coffee. Crap, it's getting cold now. So let's console.log tags at this point. All right, and that should be set. Okay, I think it's coming up as empty by default. Okay, let me just think about this, the order of operations. So the first thing that happens is it is created. We take, the value is already set to an empty object. So maybe the problem is the way we change tags has to be done differently. So the problem is it needs to know from the beginning what tags are available. And I don't want to have a watcher because that makes things complicated. I'd rather get stuck on this problem and figure it out now than later on down the line. So how about we console.log the tag here. So that's working now, but when I refresh the page, it won't because we don't have the tags yet. So, all right, maybe what I can do is this should not appear. I don't know if this is a great solution, but the tag should not actually be visible until we're done fetching the courses. In fact, I might just nest that in here like this. So let's refresh the page and see what happens now. It's almost like it's loading twice. Why is that? Anyway, it looks like that's working now. Yeah, so the reason that worked is originally we didn't have all of the tags. Then the value changed, but that property wasn't being watched. Which is, I know it's like, it's kind of messy, but you know, this is the best that I have for now. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna stick with that for now. I want to move on and just get this built. So now I want that to be centered. So let's come back up here, and I might do this differently. Instead, we might just say div, add that in there, because this needs to be its own row. Or we could just do this. Let's say div.row like that, and then throw this inside of that row. I think that's probably the best way to go about this. Why is that sitting on the left? That doesn't make sense to me. We've got... Oh, no, because that's already its own row. Then it's a row of rows. What was I thinking? What was I doing here? Should that be a row or should that be a column? Will that work? I feel like that should be a column with items center, maybe? Yeah, there we go. That makes a lot more sense. And now we can turn the tags on and off. However, the tag coloring isn't working, so let's go ahead and fix that problem. Instead of saying color here, I think I'm going to have to add in a class. And then do something... No, not a class. This is going to have to be a style tag. And then we can basically say, let's make that an object. And I might come up with a better solution to this so that, like I said before, we can use hex sometimes and not other times. And then we'll say background color is equal to the tag's color. And there we go. That's setting the tag color. And of course, I'll be more diligent when I choose the tag colors. This is just randomly generated data, which is why it's not showing properly. Okay, now that should be modeling the data correctly from that end. When I toggle the tag, though, when I toggle the tag, I don't want to do it this way. I don't want to sync it like that. What I want to do is say at toggle. Can I say at toggle? How does that work? Basically, I want to say when it's toggled, we will emit to the parent component and let it know. And that's how it's eventually updated. So let's come into the chip component and have a look at the API for that. Events, not at click. I want to say at update selected. That's actually what we're looking for. So now, when that's updated, we can say handle tag updated, or I might change that to chip to be more specific to what it is in this scenario. So now I can say handle chip updated, and then I can grab the tag's ID, and then I can go to methods. Don't have that yet, so let's come down here and do it. Handle chip updated, and then we can say tag ID. No, I don't like that. I'm going to change it from chip to tag. I changed my mind. I'm allowed to do that. And then we can say this, emit, and input. But first we need to change. Let's get rid of those console logs. The current value. So then I can say this, no, we can say const tags is equal to this dot value. So we get the current value. Then I can say tags and then the tag ID. There needs to be a better way to do this, surely. Is equal to the opposite of what it currently is. So we're basically toggling it. And then we emit that new version of tags. I think that should be correct. Yep, so it's working. I'll refresh the page just to check it still works. All right, now, nice. The cool thing about this is I always know that my data is up to date now. I don't like to store things locally. I don't want to have a version of the tags being stored on this component and on the parent component. I would rather always alert the parent component and then have it tell the child component what it should look like. I feel like that's a much better way to code things like this. All right, so this is taking a while, but that's because we're doing things properly. More coffee. Okay. What is next on the agenda? Now we need to make it so it actually filters my courses. And in order to do that, let's just have a look at the courses page and the part where we're actually getting the courses. For each course in courses, so that's probably going to be a computed property, and it is. And what we will do is we'll say if, I basically want to say if all of the tags are set to false, so if none of them are checked, then display all of the courses. So what we'll do is we'll start off, for example, by saying, we'll get the course query by saying course query is equal to that. Whoop. Oh, it's not auto formatting for me. Oh, it's because of this return part here. Yeah. And at the end of this, we're going to say return course query.get. All right, so that should still work for us. I think this is the best way to lay out the code. Yep, cool. And then what we're basically going to do is add on to that query if we have any tags that are set to true. So how about we say const, can I do this? What about, how about this? Const has tags set to true. I think that's a pretty good name for the function. And then I can basically say tag.all, and we'll go object.keys. I wish, like, there must be a library, maybe Lodash can do it, that makes it easier to sort of like wrap this sort of functionality so you don't have to do object.keys. I'll look into that. I need to probably strengthen my JavaScript skills in that area. But anyway, and then we can say for each, and so we'll call this the tag key. All right. But we don't want to say for each. This is really a find. We basically want to find one where the tag key is set to true. And then I can say tag.or and then the tag key. So now I can basically return that. Let's make sure that it's set to a Boolean. And I'm just going to do a console.log here for now. Why isn't that working? I'm probably not importing it. So let's import that. There we go. Refresh the page. Okay, so we're getting 0 there. That's what I would expect. It's not changing anything, is it? It wouldn't change anything. That doesn't... Wait, would it? No, oh, this has to be on related to selected tags. So not tag.all there. We want to say this dot selected tags. Cool. We're getting 1 and undefined. Undefined is good because that's going to be a falsy value. So basically, we're going to say if we have any tags set to true, in fact, I can coerce that to a Boolean as well. Can I? No, I can't do it that way. I have to do it this way. So if any tags are selected, or maybe it's better to just say has tags selected. Tags selected. Yeah, that's might be a little bit better. I can work on the API later. And if we have tags selected, then we're going to filter our courses based on those tags. So we'll say course.query.where, and then we can basically say the course tag. Oh, how do I do this? Where has, I might have to jump into the docs here. Many to many, we want to look at querying this data, retrieving data. And I basically want to do a where clause. So it's like a where has, I think, is what we're looking for. So let's look for where has. Here we go, where has, and then I can accept it. And then, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And then the query. So where has tags, and then we can grab the current tag and then return tag, the current tags. We're actually receiving a query parameter, a query there though, aren't we? Yeah, tags, and then we accept the query. So then I can just say query dot, oh man. Oh, this is stretching my brain a little bit. It's one of those things you do. Once I've done it once, though, I think I'm going to get really, fast at it. I'll do it a few more times and practice it. Do a video on it as well. All right. So where it has tags, and then query where that tag, where in selected tags. I kind of just want this to be a function. Is there an easier way to do this? Where has... No, anyway. I basically want to say then where has a tag that is in that object array of tags. Maybe I really should just convert all of our tags into an array so it's easier to work with on this component here. So you could say like object.key. Yeah, because this is going to be frustrating otherwise. All right, so let's do this. Let's say tags array, and then I'll return object.keys, and then we'll say this dot. Then we'll get the selected tags. Like that. So dot filter, and then we can say here tag key, and then we will simply return here tag key. Man, my brain's dying. You can hear it in my voice, can't you? Okay, so this dot selected tags tag key, we're basically doing the same thing as before. So now we've got a tags array, meaning has selected tags will be super easy. We don't even need that code anymore. I can just say this dot has tags array dot length. So if there's actually tags in the tags array, then we will perform this operation. I just want to check that that's working though. So let's say console.log let's just log the tags array. So it's empty to begin with, and now it's got 1, and then back to nothing. Okay, so that's working. Next thing I want to do now is set up this query where it has tags, and then I can say query where, can I say where in? I'm pretty sure that we might have something like that. What have I got here? Tags. Yeah, I want to say where it's in an array. Retrieving data where in. We've got where ID in. So how about we say where ID in. Oh. And I think I can just pass through an array directly there. Yep. That tags array. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we get nothing now when I deselect that. But I feel like I should get at least something because I'm pretty sure one of these courses should be giving me something there. I don't think I need to return it. Let's see if I need to return it. Or we could just test returning it. Let's see, this is running. Whoops, accidentally clicked on one. Yeah, so it is running when I select that. The problem now is in my query. So basically we're saying courses where it has tags, and we want to check if the ID is in this .tags array. So let's console.log this .tags array. See what that comes up with. All right, so we are getting one there. Let's console.log course dot query dot with tags dot get. So I'm going to get the courses with the tag. Whoops, I've done it again. Because I just want to see if any of these has tags. Yeah, that one does. The first one does. And the ID of that tag is equal to 1. However, it's a number. I wonder if that's a problem. I don't think it should be. I mean, I could go to my tags array and like convert that to an integer. Let's just see if that works. Tag, and then we can say, I think it's pass int, yeah, and then just pass through the tag there to make sure we end up with numbers in that array. All right, that's working. That was the problem. Cool. All right, that's it. We're able to filter things by tags. I think it looks a little bit ugly, but at least it actually works now. On the admin side, I can add in tags, and then we can easily filter all of our courses, all of my courses by those tags. All right, I think that's pretty much all I plan to do in terms of tags. Implement tags, cover images for courses, and then we want to have a default cover image if there is none. All right, so let's go ahead and get that done. These courses look disgusting. So first thing I'm going to do is extract it to its own component. That's not being used anymore. Awesome. So let's come in here and say quasar new component, and we're going to create a tag. No, what am I doing? I'm creating a course card. Yep, I'm happy with that. So we're going to need these side by side just so I can easily paste everything in there. Let's grab this entire course card. Where is it? Have I got a card within that card? Why is there a card in my card? What was I thinking? Oh, I see. That's a card there. That's a weird way to do it. Oh, well, I might have had a reason for doing that. All right, so let's grab this card. And I'm literally just going to rip it out and then paste it directly in there. We won't need to have v4 anymore. So we won't need the key anymore. So now we should have props on here, and this should accept the course. Props. And then we can say here, course required true, and that is going to be an object. So now this accepts the course, and then we can come up here and the course color should work. handle course selected. So now I can come here and extract that from here and whack it down there. All right. Looks like there's nothing there that should cause us any grief. What else? Course icon, that should all work. Course title, that should work. Course caption should work. All right. I think I would rather manually get the lessons in this component. I don't think the lessons page should be in charge of fetching the courses. Sorry, the courses page should not be in charge of finding the lessons. That should be up to the course card. That's its job. So the way I'm going to do that is by coming down to here and saying computed. And then we will say lessons. And then we can return, we'll say course.query, where has ID, I think it is. Where has ID? No. Where ID? Yep. So now I could say where ID is equal to this course ID. And now I can start saying what I want to grab this with. And we can say with, so the course with its lessons. Or, you know what? Why don't we just do this the other way around from the lesson angle? Return lesson query. And then we can just say where course ID is equal to the current course's ID, like that. And then we'll call get on that. And we can get rid of this. That makes a lot more sense to me. And now I can do this, import lesson from model/lesson. Cool. And that's how we're going to fetch the lessons now. So if we go to lessons here, instead of course.lessons, let's see if I'm doing that anywhere else. Yup. We're just going to straight out say lessons. Why am I getting errors there? Oh, okay, that should be this dot lessons. Cool. All right. I'm happy with that. So now on my courses page, we can iterate over all of the courses and spit them out here. So to do that, I will simply say course card and then say v-4 course in courses. And by the way, the part where it's saying with lessons, we can get rid of now. There we go. So that was easy. Let's go back here again. The key for this is going to be course.id. And then we need to pass through the course is equal to the course. And there we go. So this course card, we're going through all of the courses. We're passing it through to this component here, which is going to be in charge of rendering it. Let's see if that works. Oh, I didn't import it. So let's come down here and say course card. And there we go. And it looks like it's still working. Nice. Nice. And that's sitting in its own component, so it's going to be a lot easier to work with. Now, since we're doing styling related stuff, let's change our setup a little bit here. Get out a full screen and whack that on the side. And we're ready to start styling these course cards. And the way I'm going to do that is with a Canva image. So I want to decide on an image size to begin with. How do I decide on a good image size? That's a nice clean image. How about we go create design? Something like this is what I'm thinking. I might even just duplicate that. Yeah, okay, it's actually got white text there. This was used as like a cover photo for something. All right, so... Oh, that's ugly. So we might just have a really basic image like this where it's white in the background. and then like a little photo of the thing that it's related to. Most will be Quasar, but some of them won't actually be Quasar. Some of them will be Laravel related stuff. So how about we say I want a different size as well. I think that's 1920 by 1080. So I might see what Laracast does and just steal their image sizes. I mean, it's not literally stealing. Stealing in the right ways, I think. Browse courses. Oh gosh, everything he does is just beautiful. I'm going to do it a bit different to this though. I don't even know the best way to find a good image size. Can I just change, like, can I duplicate this and then change the size of it? Resize? No, you can't resize in Canva. All right, I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna say like, you know what? That's a good size as it is. So let's see what the size of that is, and just use that as a reference point. So that's got a max width of 400, and its height. So I reckon like 400 by 200. Yep, that's it. I'm going with it. Don't need to overthink it any more than that. So let's come over here. We've got a copy of this. I don't actually want that anymore, but so let's go back. Create a design. Custom design. 400 by 200 pixels. All right, first thing I'll do is I'll name it to make sure that I'm doing this properly. And we'll call this Quasarcast episode cover image. All right, so I'm happy with that name. White background is good. Next, let's go to our photos, our uploaded photos. And I've got one here of Quasar, so this will just be an example one. That seems pretty small. Is this an SVG? Oh yeah, it's an SVG. Awesome. But let's keep it like really simple and really small. I think that'll look nice and clean and people will appreciate the simplicity. So we'll add some text now to fit the design of the rest of the site. We're going to use Roboto. I'll just go like this. Roboto. Cool. Black. I don't know. Maybe more of like a gray color. Should be bold. No, I'm going to unbold it. And watch an example of one of my courses. Let's go to the actual Quasar site, quasarcast.com. So we'll jump in here and have a look at what some of the courses are. Building Quasar. So how about Quasar components? That seems like a pretty good starting point. Quasar components. I'm going to give this, and I want to be able to use this over and over again. So can I like change the width there and say that will be the maximum width and it can't go any further than there? Can I do the same for height? I don't think it's going to let me. No, bugger. All right. What if it had another line? And yeah, it's going to go down. That's all right. I'll just fix that up when the problem comes. So let's change the color of this to a gray color. Something just a little bit nicer, a bit softer. Yeah, and I'm going to steal. So that's basically stolen from the middle of this Quasar logo here, which is cool. It means that it looks pretty all the time. Maybe I could align that to the left. Does that look okay? Yeah, I think so. I don't know, left or centered. I might even push this right up against the image like that, and then make this go straight to the end, so it's centered exactly between those two elements. Yeah, all right, keep it super simple. Quasar episode cover image. We don't need the word image, it's Canva, so that's implied. And let's call this Quasar components. So now we've got an example that we can play around with. And then something that I use all the time is PNG Panda, which allows me to simply whack it straight in here so that I can get a smaller version of my file size. See if it still looks good. Yep, I think that still looks absolutely fine. All right. I mean, that is pretty small. That's at 100%. What do you think? Are we going to need a bigger one? That's the big question. Do I really need a bigger one? And the thing is, it might be worth... Nah, you know what? That's fine. You want to have a reasonably small file size anyway. And I want to have space to show everything. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to stick with that file size. Let's not think about it any more than that. So now let's come over here, and next thing I want to do is have a location for my images. So we might need to add that to the database. Let's go full screen here. And I think I am going to have to do that. Whoops. Yeah, if I go to courses, I don't think I added an image URL. No, I didn't. So let's say API art make migration create. Oh no, this isn't a create. This is an add image URL column to courses table. Add image URL. Is that what you would call it? Image URL, image location, image. Yeah, image URL. Makes the most sense to me. Now we can say table. This will be a string image URL. And it's just going to be that simple. This will be super easy to drop. Table, drop column, image URL, migrate it. That works. Roll it back. Just check that the rollback works. And it does. So let's migrate it again. And now we'll go to image factory. No, not image. Course factory. And come down here. And we'll say here image URL. And by default, I think you can say like this fake. I think you can even do an image URL. Holy crap, it works. Yeah. So the width of that is going to be, I think we said 400 and 200 in the end. That's really cool. I think it uses like a Pixabay website or something that generates an image for you with that size. Cool. Now what I might do is, should I refresh the database? And I don't need to deal with all that crap. No, what I might do is I might remove all of our courses and then add them back in again. So let's say art, tinker. First I'll have to remove the tags, I believe, or at least the taggables. So taggable, query, delete. So we deleted all the taggables. And then let's say course query delete to delete all the courses. Oh, great. I knew this would happen. We're going to have to delete the lessons as well. Well, I obviously didn't know that would happen. Otherwise, I wouldn't have hit the problem. Honestly, it probably would have been better to just migrate the whole database. In fact, if I go to my database seeder, yeah, why don't we do this? Why don't we create an account for me as well whilst I'm doing this by saying user factory. I won't use this in production, but it just means when I'm testing, it'll be super easy. And I'll set the name equal to my name. And how about we set admin, or is it admin? That doesn't say in there. User.js has it somewhere. Yeah, email and admin. We'll add both of those in so I can log in okay. Email is equal to luke@ldbell.com. Admin is equal to 1, in other words, true. And what was the other thing I said? Name, email, admin. I feel like there was something else. Can't remember. Might have to take a break in a little bit. All right, there we go. So that's going to automatically, oh, of course, password. So what I can do is say user is equal to that. And then I can say user password is simply equal to bcrypt, and we'll change this to, can I then just add here make? Yep. Password is equal to bcrypt secret. So I'm just going to encrypt secret and then say user save. So when you migrate the database, create a user who is me, give them a password of secret, and then save that user into the database. Let's try that. Migrate, I might just say db wipe, and then migrate, and then we'll run the CEDA when that's done. Cool, that worked. Tinker, and now let's say user first, and there I am. And I should be able to log in as myself now. Log in luke@ldbold.com with the password secret. Yep, cool. That's working. No, don't remember that. Log out. Okay, so I can't even remember why I did all of that. I'm sure there was a fantastical, legitimate reason. Let's refresh the page to see if we got our courses. This action is unauthorized. So there must be something going on with the policy that's not letting me get all of the tags. So tag policy, view any true, or just view one is set to true. So I don't see why that wouldn't work. Let's go to courses controller. Here it is here. All right, we're saying I'm allowed to get the tags. Why would I get unauthorized on that? That's bizarre to me. Did we end up installing Telescope? Let's find out. Quasarcast. No, we want to go to api.quasarcast.test/telescope. Okay, cool. We do have Telescope. Let's have a look at the guards here. Let's see what's going on. Gates. Here we go. So I'm getting denied on it. Let's just check if that is the actual thing that's giving us denied by refreshing the page there. Okay, so we're getting denied. Oh, for the course. So apparently you're not allowed to view. So let's go to course policy. View only true, view true. All I'm trying to do is view it. All right, so the problem might be sitting in courses controller. Oh, it's because we don't have the guest account. Ha! Okay. So what I did is I created a dummy guest account to begin with, like this. $guest. We don't even need to do that. Let's just do a user factory like this. So the name is going to be equal to guest, and I just set the email equal to guest because the database actually doesn't care if it's not an email. And then we'll go ahead and create that. So the reason that I was getting an error is because it was seeing no user logged in. We're basically on Orion's side of things. We're saying, hey, we do have a user and it's just a guest account. I don't like the way I'm doing this. I'm going to change it at some point, but meh. But meh. Nice reasoning, Luke. Okay, I didn't wipe the database. Let's wipe the database and run that again. Oh God, you can tell my brain's shutting down. Come on, Luke, push on. We're almost there. Okay, there we go. We got some dummy data. Next, I probably want to set it up so that we seed some tags as well. So has lessons, we could say has tags, but I'd probably rather say a tag has courses. Yeah, how about this? How about we say courses is equal to that? And then we can say, what's the best way to do this? I might just add it. Oh man, I honestly don't know the best way to do this. So we're creating, so we're saying has lessons. We could also say, why don't we do this? Let's just say has tags. But only one tag. Let's run that. In fact, I'm going to say art, db, wipe, and migrate and seed. Cool. Let's try it again. All right, that's a good seeder now. Kind of a good seeder. I mean, honestly, I'd rather, like, there's a tag set to multiple of them, but I just don't think it matters enough. I couldn't really be bothered setting that up properly for now, and I think it's going to work for the needs that we have. One of these isn't showing up properly, so my guess is that on my course factory indigo, I think it's because indigo is not a color that we have available to us. So let's just do that, run that again. That won't actually tell me if the problem's solved, but I'm pretty sure all those colors exist. It's just the indigo one that doesn't. Yeah, cool. Nice, all right, so we got tags, they work. What else do I need to do? Okay, the original thing we were doing was images. So, I don't even know how I got onto this, to be honest with you. Okay, let's come back here. Let's go to course.js. And we had image URL. Here it is here. So I'm going to paste that down, give it an image URL. We've also got course.js for the admin side. So I'm going to copy that image URL and paste it in here. So the admin also has a concept of an image URL. What next? Now we know that those image URLs are being automatically generated for us via the factory. So what I should be able to do is start building out this front end using those image URLs. Let's give this a shot. Create a little bit more room. Get rid of that, I don't need it. Get rid of that, I don't need it. So now I can go to course card. And we're ready to start coding this. So next we want to have a q-image. This is going to have a source that is equal to the image that we supplied for that course. So I'm going to say course, and then I believe it is course_URL. So let's save that. Maybe refresh the page. And we're not getting anything there. What I can also do is say the width. I shouldn't have to say the width and the height. That should just work. Did I give it the source? I did. It's the course URL. No, that's meant to be image URL. I bet you saw that. Probably thinking, wow, this Luke kid is a ninny. There we go, it's working. I don't like the padding there. It looks disgusting. So let's remove it. Margin is, well, it's actually margin. Oh no, we want the margin because that's what lays things out nicely. It's the padding here that doesn't work. Also, the course color, instead of having a background like that, I'm going to do something different there. I don't know what yet. So that means we're also going to have to change the text color. So at some point, we're setting it to white. So whenever we say text white, we will instead say text dash gray dash about 9, I think. Yep. There we go. What we might do is we might add a, should I add a border? Well, we won't make, maybe I won't make them flat anymore. I think at the moment these are all flat. So let's get rid of flat there. Okay, this is actually starting to look good to me. That little bar at the bottom, the purpose of it was to show you how much of the course is done. We have not implemented that yet, so I'm just going to get rid of it. What else? For some reason, I'm using a queue item here. That seems like a silly thing to do. Really, we probably just want the title of the course. Yeah, I don't know. We don't want a course icon anymore. I might consider adding that back in, but we'll leave that to nothing for now. We seem to have a whole bunch of padding. We want all of this to be margined to the top. So why is that being pulled to the bottom? Let's figure that out and then pull it to the top. I was doing all sorts of weird stuff. Really, this should just be a normal cue card section now. I think I didn't understand much about cue cards at the time, and I didn't realize you could have like vertical rules for your cards. All right, so should I do this from scratch? We got a title and we have a caption. So let's get rid of this item section entirely. Yes, screw it. I'm going to do this whole thing from scratch. I want to keep that because I think that will come in handy. But the rest of it, let's just do it from scratch. Why am I getting nothing now? Did I remove something I shouldn't have? No, we've got the image in there. What's that button? Looks like something that just did nothing at all. Honestly, I'll just add the linear progress back in when I'm ready. I don't need that code. Let's refresh this page. Man, I'm getting nothing now. Why is that? Let's add q-card-section. Whoops. Something. Yeah, weird. Max width. Okay, so we got a max width there. We should also then say full width, I think. No. We'll say max width, but then we'll say preferred width. Also 400 pixels. And that should still allow me to shrink this all the way. All right, so that's working now. If I get rid of something, that should still work. Yep, cool. So we just got images for all those courses. Maybe at some point I can even remove the title and the description. But for now, let's say the title is equal to course.title. Cool. And then underneath that, we will have course.description. Is that what it was? No. So let's say course.js to peek into that. It's the caption. I think they should probably sit in the same area. And we'll just find a way to separate them out. I might even just say this is a div. Text-h6 for that one. Yep, there we go. That looks good to me. This should be aligned at the top. I still don't know why that's not aligning properly. So let's jump in here and see what we can do about that. All right, so then we've got the image. I might have to do like a self-align start or something like that. This is why I hate writing CSS. Align. Not align items, it would be align self. But I thought this wasn't flex. I thought cards weren't flex. I don't know, so it looks like they are. Flex starts. Okay, so instead of align, it should be like justify self. None of that seems to be working. Anyway, I think I'm going to have to take a break and get this fixed later on. I can feel my brain shutting down. And my throat shutting down. So anyway, thank you for watching, guys. If you go to quasarcast.com soon, this will probably be up and running soon and working properly so that you can view my courses in a nicer way. Yeah, but anyway, we got tags set up today, which is kind of cool. And yeah, I'll see you in the next live stream.